This is the YouTube edition of my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets, which is a study aid for the course's workbook for students. I'll begin by reading my book's commentary on today's lesson over a visual of the book's text. I'll then return with some further thoughts on the lesson. Today's lesson is part of a 10-lesson group that runs from lesson 231 through lesson 240, each of which relates to the concept of salvation as used in the course. I'll be repeating this same introduction for each of lessons 231 through 240, so you can scan past this introduction in the future if you like. Timestamps taking you directly to today's Workbook Nugget commentary and my further comments are provided in the description below. In the section entitled, What is Salvation?, which precedes these 10 lessons, we are told that, quote, salvation is a promise made by God that you would find your way to Him at last. It cannot but be kept. It guarantees that time will have an end, and all the thoughts that have been born in time will end as well, end quote. Later in that same introduction, it says, quote, salvation is undoing in the sense that it does nothing, failing to support the world of dreams and malice. Thus it lets illusions go, end quote. So salvation is waking from the illusion. As we are told in lesson 152 of the workbook, quote, salvation is the recognition that the truth is true and nothing else is true, end quote. So to be saved, all you need do is wake. And the workbook is showing us how. Recall that in your practice sessions, you are urged to seek the feelings and experiences beyond the words. That is how you wake from the illusion. That is how you find salvation. Just reading about it is not enough. Can reading about water quench your thirst? No, only drinking the water can. Today's lesson from my book and my further thoughts follow. A link to the book on Amazon.com is provided below. Lesson number 234, August 22nd. Father, today I am your son again. Although we may feel lost, we cannot be. Although we may feel as though the journey will never end, it already has. Realize this and enjoy a taste of the kingdom. The title of today's lesson is, Father, today I am your son again. This lesson is as good a time as ever to consider an issue I tried to address in the introduction to my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets, but I was never really happy with how I did it, and I'm even less so now. As any student of the course knows, the text, workbook, and manual for teachers all consistently use the masculine noun son and pronoun he when referring to the one self or child of God, which we all share. In the introduction to my book, I wrote that I continued that practice in keeping with the terminology of the Course. I came to that decision in keeping with my firm conviction to keep my book strictly in line with Course materials and concepts. The book is a study aid for the Course Workbook, and I tried to be careful to include only Course concepts and reasoning. A Course study aid is no place for my personal thoughts or concepts from other spiritual paths and traditions. If I could not support a sentence from the 3 Course texts and authorized supplements, I didn't include it in the book. I felt that I owed that to my readers and to the Course. However, I should have made it clearer that despite the use of masculine nouns and pronouns, God and God's child, the one self, is by the Course's own essence and logic genderless. Gender simply does not exist in the one, that is, God, the ineffable mystery of which we speak. So I would like to take this opportunity to correct that omission. In the kingdom and in God, there is no masculine. There is no feminine. There is only the one.